I am shocked. I am flabbergasted. What is going on here? I totally did not see this one coming.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
That was a nifty little trick I call sarcasm, friends. So let's take a look at this. Shouldn't be a long discussion by any means, but there is a report that came out that says Keldon Johnson could be moved by the San Antonio Spurs. Kind of common sense. But here's Mark Spears. It's Mark Spears from ESPN. He says the San Antonio Spurs are working through a surplus of young wing players this season. In part, that's led to San Antonio experimenting with Jeremy Sohan playing point guard. Ultimately, it probably take a trade to thin things out a bit. If that happens, it could be Keldon Johnson, who is on the move from San Antonio. Mark Spears said that he continues to hear that Johnson may not really fit with the San Antonio starting group and that he should be coming off the bench. Now, it always messes me up. I look for words like this. When you start saying should, it's like, okay, is this an opinion? Or like you're hearing this, but who's saying he should? I mean, obviously, like fans? I don't know who's saying the should part. But this as a whole, even if we say that there's no merit to this individual report, I don't know why certain fans on Twitter are shocked by Keldon Johnson could potentially be moved. Now, let me say this, okay? Keldon Johnson, I really like Keldon Johnson, especially this season. I love his energy. I love what he brings to the team. I love his connection with the players. I think that he's a very valuable piece to a championship team. He's a very valuable piece to a playoff team. He's a valuable player. But I don't think that he's untradeable. I mean, there's very few players on this team where I would say, dude, you cannot touch them. I mean, and you're probably not going to get equal value for. Wemby is one, obviously. Devin Vassell is one. As much as I love Jeremy Sohan, I won't go as far as to say you wouldn't get equal value. I don't know. That one's a pretty tough one. But Keldon Johnson, he's a sweet spot. And the reason why Keldon is a sweet spot is because that contract, being a diminishing one, is absolutely insane with the new CPA. And I think that that's something that a lot of fans aren't necessarily grasping. But that was the whole point of getting that contract the way you did in the first place, is because you could either, move Keldon Johnson, or you could just say straight up, hey, we keep you and you're not really that, like, you don't cost that much. But Keldon Johnson, he is a role player, which is fine. He's a really good role player. But I think that he's one of those players kind of similar to DJ, where you're going to get more than maybe he's even worth. And I'm not saying that to say he's a bad player or anything. It just that with our team and how it's constructed, he gives so much as far as statistics, and he shows so much efficiency at times that I think that a lot of teams will look at him and say, oh, this could potentially be a future star. Now, for us who watch all these games, I think most Spurs fans have finally at least given up on the fact that is Keldon Johnson a future star? Probably not, right? He does what he does. It's not a ton of versatility to his offensive game. Like he can find the open guy and have some really good games where he puts up quite a few assists here and there. He's a good catch and shoot player for the most part. It brings a stupid amount of energy, will go straight into your chest. High energy. I mean, that's what he really is. But as far as trying to trade him, I think that you could easily get more than what he's worth. And I think that his numbers are often conflated a little bit because of our options offensively, just like last season. So I think that is really going to help in the Spurs' favor if they do decide to move him. And if you do, you're going to get a lot for Keldon. And I think that that's part of the reason for it. And not to mention, this contract is so good. I mean, it's such a brilliant contract. And I don't know. I guess I was just a little surprised that Spurs fans came out the woodworks and were like, "What? How could they? This can't be true. This is fake." And it's like, well, even if this individual like article or whatnot is fake or it's not accurate, there's so many reasons to believe that he could potentially be traded. No player, and I repeat, almost no player, especially role players, are safe during a rebuild. Now, like I said, and I know after this video, there's going to be a lot of people that say, I'm saying I want to trade Keldon Johnson. I don't know where that came from. I never said that. I'm a Spurs fan first. I love our players, but I'm a Spurs fan first. Whatever makes the team better, I don't care. Like Derek White, he was my favorite player. I loved him to death. When they traded him, I sat back and was like, it makes sense. It's fine. It makes sense. But when it's all said and done, I don't think people should be that shocked by it. But I do love Keldon Johnson on this team right now. I think that you get a lot of usage out of him. And if the Spurs decide to keep him, I don't necessarily agree with this, by the way, that there's no room for him. Because it kind of alludes, it says in the starting group, which I guess I kind of get that, but no room for him on the team at all. Because I think a lot of people grabbed that from this, even though it says coming off the bench. I don't think that that's true. I think that you can get a lot of utility out of Keldon, especially on the bench, actually. And in the starting lineup right now, he's a fine option. Like he's a good option. But I do think that when it's all said and done, if the Spurs were to keep Keldon, and they don't like the offers for some reason, I don't know why you wouldn't get great offers for Keldon, especially with him being on the Olympic team. Or teams know of him. He's perfect. You can just fit him in. One team, even though they don't have any assets, we want. But one team that comes to mind is like the Warriors. Like that would be perfect for them. Like a Keldon Johnson. Like they would need that. Not only with his relationship with Draymond Green. I don't know what's going on with that situation. But just the fact that he's a guy that you can just plug in basically anywhere and he'd be pretty doggone effective. But like I said, I think you can get a lot out of trading Keldon if the Spurs were to decide to do that. Actually, let's go ahead and look at, because I do like doing this. Let's look at what the fans have to say about this. Should we go to? Yeah, let's not do Spurs fans. Let's just see his 40. Let's see. Send him to LA. What the F? Why or what? Oh, why the F would they move him? He's one of the only decent players they have. Because you can get so much utility out of it. Like that's why you would move. But I don't know. It's a lot of good reasons to move him. It depends on what you get, but there's no way you don't get something good. Let's see. RC. I like RC. I see him around Twitter. Mark Spears mentioned on the pod that it might be Golden State. Oh, I just mentioned Golden State. That could use Keldon. So maybe CP3 for Keldon plus one player like Doug to salary match the 30. CP3 has non-guaranteed 24-25. Maybe also add on there Moody or Pods or okay. I'm not giving up Keldon Johnson for a 1-year rental. I no. no. That's not okay. That's not okay. Chris Paul, that's all great and dandy, but if it's not, as far as point guards, if it's not like Cade Cunningham, I'd rather the Spurs just go ahead and grab him in the draft. Just grab a point guard in the draft. There's some really good ones in the lottery. Keldon actually seems to fit better starting with Victor and Zach on the bench. Wait, starting with Victor and Zach, huh? Keldon actually seems to fit better starting with Victor and Zach on the bench. Zach isn't starting. He'd be a bigger loss. Thank Collins. What? They should be trying. Jace, the Spurs Center. I have no idea what you're saying. I don't know. The chat, or I said chat. I'm not live right now. Comment section, help me. Yeah, this got to be false dude is literally playing better than Vassell right now. See, this is what I'm saying. Like people just see it as look at his numbers. But this is a good thing though. Like everyone, it's a big chunk of people that's saying, what? Why would you do that? You can't do that. It's like, but not only are the fans conflating who Keldon Johnson is a little bit, I think that it'll be really great in the market too. There's going to be a market for Keldon, and I think a lot of teams are going to be like, "Oh my goodness!" Same thing with DJ. Like DJ's a great talent, Keldon's a great talent, but I think a lot of people kind of see it as more than what it is. We paid attention to Keldon. We know the Keldon Johnsonisms. We know the flaws and the pros and cons of his game, and that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, once again, if we were to keep Keldon, I'm okay, all right? I love Keldon Johnson on this team, all right? I'm just saying I'm a Spurs fan first. I need to say this because I already know people are going to say, man, of course you would want to trade Keldon. I am okay with trading anybody if it makes the Spurs better, period. Point blank, I don't care. I love Keldon Johnson. I love Jeremy Sohan. I love Malachi. I love all these guys. Would I trade some of these players as quick as the other ones? Of course not. But at the same time, if it makes our team better, the only thing that the Spurs could do right now that would piss me off is trade Victor. That's the only thing where I would just say, okay, enough. Then I'll be with you guys when you say fire everybody. I'll be ready to clean house if they did something like that. Which I don't even know. I don't know the rules for rookies. Can you even trade rookies? Let me know that in the comments too. Anyways, I'll get with you guys later, man. Until next time, bye.